So yeah, quick introduction to myself. My name is Jay Town. I've been in real estate since 2019. So I haven't been super long. I've been with KW since the end of 2019. So about KW South Bay for about 5 or 6 years. Before that, I worked in the corporate world, and did a little bit of entrepreneurship. Ended up working. I lived overseas for 10 years. I ended up working with an executive recruitment company, and working with an executive recruitment company out overseas. They're a global company, so when I decided to move back to LA, where I'm from, they had offices out here, so I came back and headed up their office out here too. So after doing that for 10 years, I said, my entrepreneurship and my interest in real estate kind of made me say thank you, but no thank you to the corporate world, and kind of moved out here and started doing what you guys do. Managing and getting to the real estate fun of it. Past couple of years, been interesting. What is it? 6 years now in real estate for myself. A lot of learning and using the skills that I have developed in the corporate world, especially in recruitment. Now in real estate, so I'm really interested in learning a little bit more about your guys' background, see how we can use some of the parallels, some of the skills you picked up in your previous jobs, so what you do here. This past year, I did over 31 million in revenue. So I think that puts me at #1 in the office, which I thought was great. Not because I got #1 in the office, but because the previous year, I thought I slipped a little bit. 21, 22, 23, 21, 22 were great years for me. I've always been in the top 5 in the office. And then 23, 2 years ago, I slipped to being in the top 10 in the office. So I was kind of pissed off at myself. I thought, oh man, I'm doing well. So I told myself in 24 I'll pick it up, and I thought that I did, and hopefully this will continue again. But my job here is to help you guys get as much of your skills and build up your skill set and give you some of my experiences to take out there and do what you do. Because if I can do it in 5 years, anybody can. And to show that it doesn't, when I first started real estate, I heard a lot of things. Oh, you're new to the market. Oh, you always hear from other agents too. I have 25 years of experience in real estate. Right? It's not the amount of years you have in real estate that really matters, it's how much you're actually doing that really matters. And so, part of the Ignite program that you guys are taking here will hopefully help accelerate some of the growth process in terms of skill building. Right? So just a quick run through so I can get a sense of who am I talking to and kind of your guys' background. Could you kind of tell me your name and how long you've been in real estate and what were you doing prior to getting into real estate?
My name is David.
Yeah.
I just got my license last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
congrats.
Yeah.
How's that?
And then before this, I was in finance, so managing. Mostly real estate funds.
Real estate. On the local side or on the actual buy-sell side? Or?
Yeah. So more on just team of 500 people, everything from buying, selling, managing.
Okay. Okay. Cool. And how long were you doing that for?
That's a long time. Yeah.
Well, so I have to brand it. I mean, were you like institutional, or you talking to do like?
So a private fund. So we would have a minimum buy-in was like 20 million.
Okay.
To get into the fund.
Okay.
And we focus more on LA here.
Okay. So, but you would have a broker between the funds and.
Yeah, I just no broker, no license, no anything like that. I was just managing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I know a lot of people that visited, a lot of the skill sets there, which translate very well to what we do.
Hopefully.
We'll find out soon. Cool. That's David, right?
David.
My name is Austin. I got my license in December, joined Keller Williams January, and before that, about the last decade and a half, I've been doing handyman work, installing fixtures, replacing toilets, doing plumbing, electrical work, sprinkler systems,
Were you working
landscaping,
for yourself, or were you working for a company?
for myself.
Okay.
And I decided it was time to stop fixing houses and start selling.
Yeah, you can do both. Fix and flip. I mean, running election, so you decided to get into real estate, to actually start selling them.
I thought it would be a lot more interesting. The real
Okay.
estate side of it.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, there's, I would, cause I do a lot of development and flips myself too. So obviously, you know, there is very advantageous to be on the buy and sell side, because you understand and see some of the deals first. There potentially then you end up getting that business, you know, open up a lot of new doors and shit like that. So you're in Austin, right? Okay, welcome. Hello?
My name is Yuki. I got license in May, but started to come in here in
May of 24 and it came
Last
in
year,
August.
yeah.
Okay.
and I was a stable mom for 7 years, and before that, I was a manager at an restaurant and bars in Torrance and in Florida. And I got into investment, property investment, few years ago. So I have some investment properties.
That's cool, your personal.
And
Okay.
personal, and that made me think that why do I
So-
hire someone and I can kind of like learn about it, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people get into that way. A lot of people go, oh, you know, why am I getting somebody to sell my house? I mean, why am I asking somebody to help me buy a home when I can try to do it myself? It is a little different, right? And
But also
so,
like I thought, you know, like this is very interesting and like
Mhm.
so I kind of like felt the passion of educating the, you know, the real estate opportunities here.
Right. Welcome. So then you didn't take any night classes prior to?
I
the
did.
session? Oh, you did?
I'm here
Oh,
to.
I'm glad, thank you. Hopefully we hold up to your expectations.
Because that was the only session I missed, and you didn't have any students. Last time.
My session?
Yeah,
Oh,
then
I
Karina.
don't, maybe we had, maybe
So,
we had a problem with the
It was
recording.
definitely-
yeah, so,
Hopefully this put it down.
It was raving how it, how much
amazing to watch.
information we
Yeah.
learned, so I spread the word for you.
Oh, did you tell her?
Yes.
Don't believe everything she says. Please.
no,
Oh, so-
trust.
right.
Good.
No, but
Yeah.
thank you. Hopefully, we give you a little bit of nuggets here today. Take one, okay? Did you want to introduce yourself to the group?
If you want.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead. So everybody kind of knows who we're talking to.
I am Karina. There are a few people that I know quite a few of you from last session recently. I signed up with Keller Williams South Bay at the very end of August. So that's when, you know, my license got activated and it's been about four months or so, 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Before that, my professional side, I was in accounting and banking. The majority of, like, the last decade, my priority was my kids and my family, but on the side, I was doing like investing for us as well.
Right.
So I had acquired one investment property that I was also managing for us. And, you know, just really every house we bought and sold ourselves, I was really involved with it and just really fell in love with real estate and love helping people. So just, you know, this seemed like the best career choice when I was there.
Well, it opens up a lot of doors, gives you a lot of options. I think real estate, gives you options. And I think we all look for, you know, it's very on trend right now, financial freedom, passive income, all that kind of stuff, right? But real estate does give you a lot of options in that world, so hopefully we can help you accelerate some of these options as well. So, Nicolene, we actually obviously coached her before in another session and a little bit of mentorship as well.
Yes.
But how have you been in the past couple months since taking courses? Have you been?
So the last something I've learned, the holiday season, I really need to figure out what to do. November through mid-January, it's not just, you know, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, holiday holidays, but it's also both of my kids' birthdays.
Right.
So as much as I really wanted to work full time and stay focused, I was like on momentum. We
Yeah.
had like one existing that closed. But with holidays hitting, it was like those 2 months, I barely could really focus on work. So I need to figure out what to do for next year to be able to, stay like full time during the
Well, I'm
holidays.
glad you acknowledge that and realize that. Obviously the holidays slow down for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of times though, as a realtor, when the people slow down, that's when you should be picking up. Right, that's when you take it down to the market, and that's how you set yourself up to be up and running for the next year. So I'm glad you recognize where some of the potential opportunities are for this coming year for yourself, right? And now you have 11 months to plan ahead and make sure we don't come across that thing again.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you, yeah.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Cameron,
what is it?
Cameron,
Cameron?
nice to meet you. And, I came to Keller Williams in April, so like, right, that's when I was able to get my license then in
Okay.
April. So I came over then,
Okay.
I took a few Ignite because I wasn't able to get there and I came to real estate because I was in the court system before and I retired. And it's just something I've been passionate about. I've bought and sold a couple of things in the past. And just like my personal stuff.
Okay.
So I was just always interested in it. And I was like, well, why not give it a try now?
Okay. So you said you were in the court system before? Working with lawyers and.
I was a federal probation officer.
Oh.
So I worked in the federal.
So you started last April, but you haven't taken a full blown Ignite. You've been taking little pieces at that.
Yeah.
Well,
Hello, my name is Annette.
What is it?
Annette, yes, I get my license in October 2023.
Okay.
I worked for Coldwell Banker for a year.
okay,
Don't go good. So I can just look for different affiliation and found that Keller Williams have a lot of culture, people, I mean, I like it.
right.
The good vibes, so I'm
So
staying.
when did you start with Keller Williams?
Last year on November.
Oh, okay.
So 3 months.
But this is your first time running through Ignite now. Oh,
Yes, right here, yes. Yeah,
what were you doing before?
well, I brought up my kids, I have 2 kids, and I studied for interior design and all the stuff for 3 years.
Okay.
So I helped my husband managing where he's working by son.
Okay.
So I'm busy, pretty busy, and now
Yeah,
I think it's my mom now, my kids already baked it,
Yeah.
he's buying anything, so right now we're focusing.
Well, the kids are no joke. That's a nice cool job to have.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
Okay, I think it's good. They take us so much time because I love it, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
So they're growing up so fast. So that's it. That's me. Thank you.
I've been an executive chauffeur before. I have some exclusive clients and within the last 5 years, there's been plenty of people that within my circle that I know that buy bulk of those houses. That's how I came to the idea because I calculated how much I could have earned. The agent and so yeah, that's like how I got the licenses now.
So are you still a chef full time and it's kind of just
Not a chef, a chauffeur, just personal driver.
Oh, okay. But that's still your full time job.
It
Or-
goes from time to time, but luckily I hope not to do that too much so I can focus more on the stuff.
Okay.
Real estate, so but
Got it. So when did you join?
I can still,
Yeah, yeah.
And I joined just like this January, I got the license like
Couple-
few weeks ago.
You're welcome. So your name again, Ryan?
Chris.
So you can, yeah,
Crash.
I used to work in the fashion business.
what was that?
I used to work in the fashion business.
Yeah.
I licensed in real estate.
Yeah. I meet you last time my class did, was
Yes,
it?
yes, but it was the previous, big night.
Oh, it was
Previous.
kind of like 2 sessions.
I did only 2 sessions and.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested in.
You want to come back again? Whew. So you're okay then? You come back. Okay, good.
Hi,
Hello,
my name is Javier.
Javier?
Yeah, I've been here with Keller Williams in May.
Okay.
About 9 months. Yeah, I'm just interested in real estate because a lot of my parents, rented. So I want to own
Right.
and I would like to, help them buy their first property as well. And I'm interested in, buying houses, fixing them up and so, just the whole process.
We got a contract with them, so.
There you go.
There you go, right? So what do you do now? Oh, so what were you doing before?
Before I was living up north and I was married. I had a restaurant,
Okay.
had a convenience store and we were trying to have a food truck in the convenience store in the parking lot, but it wasn't working too well. Then we just sold everything that came over.
Gotcha. So you sold that? A food truck and a convenience store?
Yeah, like in the parking lot. we were just-
Oh, okay.
It was a small town. I'm from here, but I went up there for 3 years and I was doing that.
Got it.
But it was a very small town and then you kind of keep it like old school and then we're trying to have like people innovate over there.
Take somebody to. It's definitely a challenge to kind of craft it, right?
Yeah.
Anytime someone trying to do something different or new, it's those that you push that.
Yeah.
So it takes a bit of time to get through that. You're gonna come across that a lot of real estate. A lot of what you guys are gonna try to do is, in some ways, add your own creativity to the wheel. Because you don't wanna do something completely brand new, because if something works, it works. But you gotta bring something that makes you stand out among the crowd, because, I mean, you can just say there, I mean, there's so many people that wanna get a deal, right? So how are you gonna stand out among everybody else?
Right.
But talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about like how I go about my business. Obviously, I do want to go through with you guys the material here. Make sure we do cover this. Like I said earlier, there's not a ton of material. What we're gonna be doing today is more about just connecting with your market. And just finding out a little bit more of what is our market, how do we define our market, and best way for you guys to connect with it. I think probably what would be beneficial towards the latter half of the 2 hours that we have here, it's kind of just open up a question and answer and see what you guys have in terms of, for those of you that have been in real estate already, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing, some of you guys that are newer, what are some things you should be doing right now to get started? Right, so I think that's probably more beneficial than, a lot of the words that we see on the screen here, so, okay? So let's get through it. All right. Night, so section 3, connect with your market. I'm looking. Gotta get this on the screen, because telemarketing, you gotta know all this, you gotta do cold calling, and, just be aware of who's on a do not call list and all that kind of stuff. Commissions, so, oh yeah, have you guys, I'm assuming you guys have all heard about the laws and everything that changed last year. Right, do you guys all understand that and what that all means, that transparency we have to give disclaimers? Is there any questions on that I can help address? Are we good on that for now? Yeah, okay. All right, first overview, we will connect with your market, okay. So. Know your market, build your expertise, utilize resources, recap on how it is, kind of stuff. Know your market. I guess the first bit of it is market. What are we talking about when we say know your market? Anybody have any idea, like what what are we talking about in this spot? What are we trying to do?
Farm,
Like what type of real estate, commercial, residential, what type of residential, like fourplex or single?
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of that, there is a lot of knowing, you know, what is the fourplex? What is single family home, what are we getting into, we do commercial, we do residential, there's a lot of that, right, so that's more the technical bit of things, right? What else are we knowing, what else are we trying to understand when we talk about market?
The price of the market right now in the house, how was the price of the house?
Yeah,
The area?
but the actual pricing of the home, but the actual, how much a home going for,
Every 3, 6 months, right?
yeah, how much inventory is there on the market, like, you know, what's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, how much is that going for, right? So there's a lot of specs about the market that you guys want to understand. Basically, so, I mean, you've kind of done some sales. I guess everybody's, I mean, you've kind of done some sales for selling yourself. Whenever you're selling something, before you go out and sell, what do you need to know?
studying the product.
Well, what you're saying.
You have to know your product, right? For us, obviously, yes, our products are home, right? We're selling home. But even more macro than that, our product is our knowledge of the market, right? That's what we're selling to clients, that's what we're selling to buyers, right? I mean, quite honestly, anybody can sell their home, but for sale, you know, the market is so hot, it's such a seller-driven market that a lot of times a for sale by owner will sell their house. Why should Jay use it? Why should I use it?
Well, you'll get a bigger revenue, make a bigger return for yourself.
Right, so that's exactly it, right? You wanna use me because, yeah, you can sell your house by yourself, but I guarantee you, I'll probably get you more for your house than you will. Why?
Because we know the market.
Because you know what? What do you?
I do.
We'll get into it. But I mean, the market ever changing. I'm still learning and learning more. The market always, it's fluid, right? The market always moves back and forth. So you gotta always keep up the pace in terms of what's going on out there. Right, so that's what we mean more about when we say know your market. That's what we're trying to talk about a little more here. How do we identify our market, what it is within the market that we need to know to help ourselves get the knowledge that we can go to the buyer or seller and say, hey, you can put that by owner, but I guarantee you I get you more money than you will. Why is that? Well, because of or did you know this and this? They probably did it because that's not their full-time job, this is our job, right? And so, by the way, a lot of the context of what I'm gonna be talking about and what I do and a lot of what this is, you know, it's for somebody that is gonna be in a full-time role as a realtor, right? And that's kind of the message that I'll give to you guys, because it is, I think, with any job, tough to do this, ad hoc, or to do this part-time. I thought before getting into it, I could do this 2 or 3 days a week, and I thought that would be sufficient to know about the market and to build my business. Unfortunately, it's not. You know, a lot of it is, as with anything in life, to get the most out of it, you have to put the most of yourself in it, right? So, you know, so a lot of the content we're talking about today is obviously, you know, people that are gonna be working full-time. I'll try to make it more specific if you have questions that for those that are doing it a little more part-time on the side, which is a little bit different type of business. All right. Here's the truth. If it has been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it has been done, no matter where, it's just a matter of finding out how that can be possible in your world. This is a quote from FREA. Have you guys read that book yet? Real estate. You guys can get a copy of it?
Yeah.
There we go, right? There's a lot of information in there. If you guys don't have a copy of it, get a copy of it. I think Simon probably has copies of them. Go through it. There's a ton of information, but what happens is you won't be able to apply until you go out to the real world, but at least you have some understanding of what it is, and then you can always reference it back. Because there's a lot of data and facts in that, and the first time I read that too, it's a little bit, you know, it's over your head, because there's a lot. But once you get to the day-to-day activities of it, then some of the stuff starts making more sense, and you can go back and reference it. But I would still recommend going through that, right? And even, you know, as we're taking these classes, obviously. All right. What does this mean? What does this quote mean? Anybody have any ideas? Can you try to emphasize or just
Well, I mean, once something has been done, it's no longer impossible to do, right? It's already been done. You just gotta figure out how to do it on your own.
So, like I said earlier, right, we're not here trying to reinvent the wheel. What I do building my business has been done. I door knock. That's how I built a lot of my business. I door knock the crap out of things. I door knock the crap out of my neighborhood. It's not rocket science. It's been something that's been done since the first day of real estate software. There's obviously ways that I involve my own creativity to how I door knock. So it's very much like this, right? It's just a matter of not reinventing what somebody else has already done successfully, but just trying to make it your own. So a lot of that is, hey, if someone done in this market doesn't even work here, it's how we adapt it to you. Okay. So it's going to go through first of all from a macro level the type of market. Buyer market, seller market, balanced market, right? What's a buyer market? Anybody knows?
There's more inventory than buyers.
Offer is higher than the demand.
What is it?
The offer is higher than the demand.
The offer is higher than the demand. Yeah, offer higher than that. So I think I understand what you're saying, but basically
The
there's
seller needs the buyer.
There's more homes for sale than.
yeah, so in that regard, I think more data analytics wise, it's more home for sale than there is buyers. Right? What does that mean?
The,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the
buyers
sellers have
have
to fight.
more leverage in any discussion.
It takes a long time to sell the home.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer to sell the home, right? So what happens then is buyers have more leverage, or when they go and negotiate the pricing. A lot of times yeah, you can try to be more aggressive in how you do it, right? So on the flip side of it, seller's market,
More buyers.
there's more demand than supply. Right? Balanced market is 5 to 7 months, 6 months is kind of the theory in terms of how much inventory there is out there to make a balanced market.
What is it current?
What's that?
What is the market current
What is the market?
Sellers or buyers?
Oh, right now,
right now?
what do you guys think? Why is that?
It's slower.
Why is it a seller's market?
There's still way more buyers.
The interest rate is high.
So seller's market means there's more demand than supply. That means that the sellers have more power, they have more leverage.
And
So-
real estate, I mean, it's limited. It's not like we have.
So yeah, so let me park that what you just said, because I want to come back to the interest rate thing. But yes, there is no inventory. Simple as that. Inventory sucks, right? So inventory sucks, which means that the sellers, whenever they have a good product from home, come to market, they have more leverage. Because more buyers. So right now, it's not everywhere. Now, keep in mind, now, when you
Yeah,
listen
in
to the
general.
news and, different parts of the US, it's all different. I would say more specifically where we are, it definitely is the seller's market stuff. Good homes will move quick and we'll get multiple offers. Now, to your point, Chris, interest rates being high. Interest rate being high, does that make it a buyer's or a seller's market?
I mean, interest rates were what, 13% or something
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Why did you say, what did you say? Who said that? No, you said that, right?
Yeah. I know, like during COVID, the interest rate was super low, and then, but right now everybody waits to those rates.
So, let's use that example. During COVID, interest rates dropped like 3%, right? Was that a buyer's or seller's?
Buyers.
No, it's still sellers.
Was a seller's one. Why? Because there was a ton of buyers out there.
Tons of houses.
It's still not a lot of inventory.
Right, and there's still not a lot of inventory, or there was more inventory, but
There's still not a network.
so there's so many people looking to buy because of low interest rate that it was a seller. So now, interest rates are high. What are we in? So my point being is that interest rates will have some effect on how market activity, but I think there's other priorities that supersede that. If that makes sense. Right, so inventory is the biggest thing right now. There's no inventory, it's gonna be selling. Because even at 7%, even at 8%, there's buyers out there that are still going for it, even with these percentages.
And then does it matter the type of property? Or no, it's just like if it's a seller's market here, it's a seller's market,
No, it does matter, you're right, to the point, I mean, if it's commercial property,
it's gonna take longer.
it's different, right, because commercial property is just number. Right, I don't care, that person doesn't need to be in a house, they're just looking for an investment. Or that company, or whatever, right, so from a commercial standpoint, it's a very different conversation. Interest rates will draw a lot of factors into the buyer or selling, because if the numbers don't make sense, I'm not gonna buy it. For an individual, even if interest rates go up, if I need a house, I'm looking for a house. I'm gonna still look for a house, I might be looking for maybe a little cheaper house, but still.
But you can always refinance when
You
you
can
be
be on that line, too. So that's obviously the value as well, right? So part of understanding what our, buyers and markets understanding, yeah, all these macro effects, but ultimately the biggest draw. Which is the best applicant, number one, right? So. Interest rates and lenders. So you see here, all these different things. Type of market, inventory, interest rates, economic factors, and market factors, they're all kind of all encompassing when we say know your market. Because the more knowledge that we have, the better that will be to address whatever challenges or questions our buyers or sellers have. Right? So our buyers and sellers are asking us, what type of market is this right now? Oh, yes, it's seller's market. Why? Because inventory sucks. Well, we have no inventory. Well, what's inventory? Well, I know in this demographic, in your neighborhood, there's 3 homes for sale. Oh, these 3 homes are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes that are selling for blah, 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 blah. So when we say know your market, know your inventory, that's part of the discussion that you'll have. Interest rates and lenders. Are you guys all linked up with the lender? Yeah. I mean, you guys should have. If you haven't yet developed some sort of relationship with a lender, they can be very useful in terms of helping you guys, from rates, helping your buyers through approval. And we have Chris, we have Fernando, that's part of the lender group here with the company. But whatever lender you guys have, I would say, reach out for some of the new guys, develop some sort of relationship with the lender that they can help you with marketing material as well. All right, so that's something that you guys want to start developing, and that will help you out in terms of just keeping you up to date from an economic standpoint. What rates are? What do we have? Employment rate, workers, growth rate of the community. How does employment rate? How quite all that? Employment rate.
It's about the ability to pay rent.
What was that?
The ability to pay rent.
Obviously, yes. I mean, having jobs and making money allows people to buy, right, and pay rent. But how does that affect from a macroeconomic standpoint?
Well, that means like if you're unemployed, then you cannot qualify for a loan. Is that what you mean? Or
Yeah, well, from a top level, right? Because all this stuff affects our market, right? So
Yeah.
economic factors, employment rates are a big. If you guys ever listen to like the Fed rates and all that kind of stuff, one of the major factors of how Fed dictates the federal rate is employment. Right? Because if employment is good, are the Fed's going to push down rates? No, because they're like, well, why should I make things cheaper for everybody if everybody has a job? Right? If everybody has good, healthy salaries, everybody's making good money, the economy is moving, then why should I push down rates?
As long as the economy is good, always rates go up.
Right, and so there's other factors that now come into play on top of that, right? So, as you can see, so knowing all this stuff is important. So when we're talking about knowing the market and knowing real estate, it's not just knowing, hey, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. It's having these type of macro discussions with your clients, so then that helps you develop rapport and it helps you have more knowledge and provides you, a little more value, right? Because coming back to what I said earlier, I'm a homeowner. I can sell this myself. What would I even do? Well, I have all this knowledge that I can show to then help dictate why your home is X, Y, Z, and why I can sell your home for it. Okay. So, part of being in this real estate world, I said earlier, opens up a lot of opportunities because there's so many things that affect real estate. And that's why I'm a big believer in real estate and building wealth, building passive income, generational wealth, all that kind of, cliche words that you hear nowadays. But I think a big part of that is just understanding what are the economic factors out there. So knowing your market is part of also knowing out there. So before we even get into, hey, are you gonna farm, what neighborhood are you gonna farm? You guys start getting the graph of all this, because that will affect some of the conversation you have with the environment. Okay? And then have other bunch of factors in the shop and buy some of it. I think we may have that deep dive into some of these. Does that kind of make sense, Priscilla?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so real estate, that's why, what do you say? 80% of the millionaires in the world have some involvement in real estate or something like that. Right. Why is that? Because they are business people. They're where the money is and all that kind of stuff is all encompassing. It's not just a home.
80%,
Oh, that
80%.
I can't remember, but that's a crazy.
Yeah, so
It's like 80-90% of the millionaires involved have some sort of activity in real estate. Right. So.
Because it's the safest.
In some ways, yeah. In some ways, it is the safest. I mean, it's a tangible, right? It's something
Usually,
tangible.
usually they say people buy a lot of real estate when there is actually economy stretching because it's the safe way to store the money because everything else is crashing down.
Yeah, I mean, they say that is a hedge against recession. I mean, real estate, I think real estate is all proof, not just recession proof, it's all proof. So ultimately, at the end of the day, especially in this area, it's final, right? It's final. It's, where else am I gonna find the land to build a house? This is what it is. So if you're in a good area, and a good location, my belief is that, yeah, there's always gonna be, if I'm gonna close a thing, but over the long term, you have to find.
Your opinion, why the government is not developing new lands, so they will increase.
Developing new land?
Yeah, I mean, like having
Well-
more inventory, because if you watch, it's all desert, we have a lot of.
So it's
lands.
interesting, I saw an article recently, actually, there is a lot of, there's a lot of new home builders out there who are actually having problems selling homes. But not this.
I'm talking California.
Yeah.
My license is.
So, yeah, but not here, so that's the biggest thing, right? Like, look, if you look outside here, let's say you wanna live in Torrance, where are you develop?
yeah, there's something.
New lands.
I mean,
You know,
unless-
like, it's not
Unless you like, put dirt off the Torrance beach.
You don't plan for long run, right? Like now, for instance, Lancaster, Vegas, people, they don't wanna go there. As after 10 years, when there are more malls, okay, people, they want to go there. So
So
this is something you wanna plan for long run. And this is a government project, it's not for this year. Why they're not doing that?
Well,
At
if
least
you
the
actually
inventory
go out
will be
to
less.
like,
Everybody wants to come to.
if you go out to like Riverside, you go out to like Pomona, if you go out to like those areas, San Bernardino County, where there is more land, there is more open land. There is actually a lot of development out there. Now, I don't know what the government can or cannot do, I'm not gonna get in that conversation. But I think what is happening in areas that have opportunity to develop, if you go out towards that way, there's tons of new homes. If you go down south, to like, I think Irvine still has tons of new homes.
But the problem becomes, the problem
is.
is this, is the other factors, right? People wanna live next to the water.
So,
next
so
to
that,
the
that's
beach,
the
next
thing,
to
so, when you're talking
the
about
life.
why, why it's not developing, well, where are you gonna develop in Torrance? You can't, because this is what it is. But if you're talking about, hey, are they developing out in Corona? Are they developing out in Riverside? There's actually a lot of new homes out there. Yeah. There's a lot of, and so,
41, like, first.
and homes that are a lot cheaper, but then to your point, you're gonna be living 120 degrees weather during summertime, and I don't think anybody wants, well, not anybody, but I think there's less people that want to be there than to be here in Torrance. And that's why a home here in Torrance, with 1,100 square feet, is selling for 1.5 million versus 300,000 in San Bernardino County. So location, that's really, okay. Ahas. Right, those are some of the ahas. I'm gonna kind of go through the village expertise, okay. Learn the market. Okay, LORE, you guys know what that is?
Internal.
Good, 'cause I don't either.
Well.
I think it's like
of real
language.
estate.
Oh, there we go, language of real estate, okay? So language of real estate, do you guys know kind of the basic terminology of single family home, right, duplexes, triplexes, right, days on market, right, price per square foot. You guys know the general context of that? Cause I think, I mean, I don't, quite honestly, I don't know if I'm talking about the linguistics of it. I think that's your homework that you guys need to do to understand, when you're getting in front of somebody.
Is there any like lesser known
Um,
terms that maybe we wouldn't know?
Let me see. Let me see if they put out anything specifically. If there is. I don't know.
No, okay, so I mean, those were kind of like the major,
Yeah, I think if you, I mean. First of all, do you guys have access to MLS?
No.
MLS, you guys have access to your MLS? Yeah, you're on the board and all that kind of stuff, right?
not yet.
Not yet, okay, join the board so you have access to MLS. Alright. Because you need to start playing around with MLS, and getting a sense of what the market is, right? So seeing like, where do you live?
In San Pedro.
San Pedro, okay, open up San Pedro, look at all this in San Pedro and look up what it is that's going on in San Pedro. Alright, so part of this discussion of knowing, the language of real estate is simply open up MLS, just look through there and see what's going on. Have you done that, Austin?
No, I haven't,
Do you have an MLS or?
well, I've joined the South Bay Association of Realtors.
Okay, perfect.
I haven't looked around anything on this yet.
Okay. But have they given you like a password, login, all that kind of stuff? Okay. So that's one of the first things you want to do is get on it. Get on that, start playing around with it, start getting familiar with it, so you know what's on there, and start clicking around on all the different things. That's gonna help you out with a lot of terminology. Right. Have you guys even talked about, like, knowing your business and what we mean by that? Yeah? Does everybody know what that means in terms of knowing your business? So, basically, being a realtor, a real estate agent, realtor, is there entrepreneur, right? You're building your own business, right? You're running your own business, and you need to see it that way and treat it that way. And you should probably start doing that from the get-go rather than later. And what I mean by knowing and thinking of it as a business is you run it with P&L statement. You run it as, okay, what is my activity today? So a lot of what you're gonna be learning through Ignite is also just having goals for yourself. Setting goals for yourself to what you should be achieving every day. That's activity goals. What am I doing every day to get business is just gonna come to me? You said if you're meeting a lot of clients by showing them around, well, what if you're not showing, what if not showing anybody around? How are you doing? So that's part of the plan, right? Of how am I going to continue to get business? Part of all this Ignite, and this is going to be constant messaging in Ignite, is the biggest thing that any new agent has, or any biggest problem any new real estate agent has, is the business development. How do we go and get business? So part of thinking of it as a business is setting up your business so that you have activities going on every day. You're gonna dive into that as knowing what you're building business, but I just wanted to start out and you actually thinking of your business or yourself as a business. Right? Learn your clientele, who are the buyers or the sellers. But this is getting, okay. So this is interesting because yeah, some guys have been here for a while and turned out completely brand new. For people that have been here already, what have you guys done in terms of establishing a business? Do we have an example of what have you guys done in terms of establishing? You said you were, so your name again was Cameron?
No, I'm not.
Annette, so you've been a core banker before,
Yes.
right? So you've been in business for about over a year now,
A
right?
year,
A year.
yeah.
So what have you done? Can you give some examples? Sorry to put you on the spot here, but you're probably the longest tenured person here. So what have you done in thinking of your real estate as a business?
The open houses, knocking doors.
Before getting into activity, how are you establishing yourself as a business? What was the first person that you had to do?
Oh, I used to work with my son. He was a real estate agent. He teach me.
Oh, he was a
some
real
stuff.
estate agent.
Yeah. he
Okay.
was. Yeah.
So your son is a real estate agent?
No,
or
not really.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he teach me some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and I help him some stuff.
Okay.
Letters and the letters.
Then, so that's more activities, okay? That's more activities that we're talking about here. But before you get to activities of it, I want you guys to start thinking this from a macro level. I keep on saying macro level because it's all just starting, right? So it's the top level.
CRM.
So yeah, the part of it is going to database, right? So thinking of your business is what? Having some sort of a database.
All the previous contacts, all
Yeah.
previous
So,
jobs.
okay, so let me take it simple. Does anybody have a CRM?
Well, the command, right?
Command. Everybody should say yes, because everybody has command. Everybody has access to command, right? Have you guys played with command?
Yeah.
You guys play around with that. Put your contacts in. What's a contact?
Email, and number, and name.
There we go. A name and number, a name and email, something. If you want to start building up that database. Okay, that database is going to be very important over the long term. If you don't start building it now, if you're in a business a year, 2 years from now, you're like, oh shit, I don't have database. Well, you got 2 years to build a database that you could have put in there.
The business without capital.
Right? So you should have a database. Use command if you don't have any other system. And just take it from your phone, whatever you have, start putting all that information in there. You want to have a central system where you can always go back to and rely on when you don't know what the hell to do. Right? You don't know what the hell to do. I'm gonna tell you, open up your database, call everybody and say hi. Do something. Right? Because the biggest problem, when I said earlier about new agents, from a business development standpoint, the biggest problem is they go, oh, I don't know what to do. They sit there. The more you do, the more things that you will have to do. Because why? As long as you do something, that's going to lead to something else, and that's going to lead to something else, and that's going to lead to something else. So the biggest problem with having a database is, oh, you don't have a foundation to go back to. So if you have a database, at the very minimum, you go, you know what the hell to do? What am I doing? I got my phone, I have a database, I'm going to call them, I'm going to call them. During COVID, we couldn't go to open houses, we couldn't do all this stuff. One of the things that I learned from, they had a training. What's the training that they do all the time? Both. So we did both, right? It was a training. So they said, just call phone, right? So because you can't go, couldn't talk to people in person, it was during COVID. Every day you just went through the letter. You call all your A, then you call all your B, then you call all your C, you call all your D. The key thing about doing that is not skipping a person. Because there's always a reason that, oh, yeah, I don't want to call that person because of this. Oh, I don't want to call this, You come there and say, oh, man, I haven't spoken to them all, maybe I'll skip on to that. Don't. So that was the biggest lesson, one of the biggest lessons I learned from both. Whenever you're going to do something, commit to it and go with it all the way because you never know who it is that you're going to call that might lead to something. Or at the very worst, you're going to catch up with something. All right. So, one of the simplest things that you can start doing now, especially as a new agent, is just start building up that database. And especially as a new agent, start calling everybody and saying, hey, you know what? My name's Jay. It's Jay, how's it going? Did you know about in real estate? Oh, yeah, great. Throwing it out there to the world. I'm out there now. So, if there's any questions in the future, man, just let me know. Simple. But whatever it is, if you're going to commit to doing something, make sure you just call every single name in that section that you're doing. Right? Because I know it's hard. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want to skip this person. I did that too sometimes. Like, no, you commit to it, you got to do it. Right? Yeah.
So say don't skip anyone. Then like even let's say you have a handyman that worked on your house like 3 years ago. Like even just call everyone.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
What
the
would
reason
you
I put
say?
it in your phone, right? So there must have been some sort of connection sometime.
Yeah.
So it could just be, hey, like, hey, yeah, you actually came by my house and fixed my sink 3 months ago. Are you still actually having that? Oh, okay, great. Well, you know what? I'm actually a realtor right now. I might need your help in the future. By the way, you know anybody looking to buy or sell? Right, so I mean, so there's a way to make the conversation. Ultimately, here, the whole point of that is just to do something. And I guarantee you, I'm a big believer in it, I'm not trying to get spiritual or anything, but like, I'm a big believer, I'm a big believer in energy. The more energy you put out, the more energy I come back to you. So just going out there and doing something will make other things happen. Okay? With that?
Will bring some results.
Yeah.
A lot.
So database, if there's one thing you want to take out of the class, make sure you guys start building up your database. Okay? So that was a question. Who else? You've been here for over a year now, right? Ish,
I'm sorry,
you've been in real estate for over a year now, right?
no,
No,
he's so nice.
it's not. Okay. Yeah, you've been in real estate for over a year now. 7 months. Okay, well, tell me, what kind of business have you been building in 7 months so far?
We need the CRM.
CRM, okay,
Contacting previous contacts,
right,
the activities in open houses.
what you don't have.
So keeping their contacts definitely. So participating in social events to meet new contacts.
So kind of back to what we're talking about here about knowing the market, have you been able to identify one?
So as much as I can, checking the MLS, taking courses. Reading now lately I started daily checking the MLS, because I wasn't doing that.
And when you check the
The
MLS,
new ones,
what are you checking? Are you checking a certain city, a certain neighborhood, or certain?
everywhere, I'm not only doing, I don't have a specific one.
Okay.
I'm working with title companies, but I like. Not geofarming, I like the market more than that, like doing expired or working with investors, I'm comfortable with that one.
Okay,
Because I do a side job, all the time I hear investors that they want commercial things or business opportunities.
okay,
I like working with those kind of people.
okay.
And even I'm trying to think to go to the commercial,
Yeah,
which is different, but I'm gonna see where's my niche, I'm not sure. If I wanna go to commercial, I don't do open houses. Trying everything to see where am I more comfortable.
okay. Well, part of that, okay, fair. Part of that is exploring different markets and see what makes sense for you. So I'm gonna tell you like my experience and what I did and how I'm doing things, and hopefully then you can then apply to whatever it is that you do. Because one thing I will say about the market is that I believe the more you specialize, the more opportunities you are to build your market. And what I mean by that is this. So when I first got into real estate, I thought, okay, you know what? So I grew up in, I don't know if you guys know what Rolling Heights is. Right, so about east a little bit, right? So I grew up out there. I went to school in Irvine, which is down in Orange County. Right, I live on the west side right now in Westchester, that's more the west side, Santa Monica, that area. But now I'm here in South Bay. Oh, wait, so I know this and this and this and this and this. So I use that to my advantage when I need to, but realistically, I can't say I'm an expert at Rolling Heights because I don't really know Rolling Heights, right? So I thought when I first got in real estate that, hey, you know what, that's good, I know all this stuff, because I can help people everywhere, and, you know, whenever a client asks me this, I can tell them this. I can tell them as much as.
It's South Bay, only, not Los Angeles.
Right.
But not only Torrance.
Well, that,
It's not only Torrance.
not important, put all the
Yeah,
time.
that's what yeah, because my open houses are Torrance and Palos Verdes the most.
Right. Well, so to my point, you know, when I say specialized, I think it would be beneficial for you guys to pick an area and just to try to see what is that area and learn everything you can about that area. So a big part of what I do is farming, right? I farm a lot. You guys know what farming is? What's farming?
Yeah, to work on it.
Right, but you have a certain region that you cover, and you do, just specialization basically, right? So I'm a big believer in farming. I'm a big believer in specializing in the farm because I feel that gives you an opportunity to bring value to that neighborhood, to that community, or to whatever that area is. The more value you bring, the more opportunities you have with buyers and clients. Now, some may say, you know what, then that limits you to this little area. I don't think it limits you, I think it gives you expertise in that area, but that doesn't mean I can't work in Brooklyn Heights, that doesn't mean I can't go to West Side, right? But it gives me, again, what, a foundation. Because, one of the big things for me was that, again, coming back to what I said earlier, a lot of the biggest problems that you have in real estate is that there's just so much to do, you don't know what to do. Right, and it's not like a job where you have a boss to tell you what to do. You have to go and do it yourself. So the biggest problem a lot of people have in real estate when they first started is that they don't know what to do because there's just so much crap out there. Social media, right? There's all, how many different apps on social media is there? How many different CRMs are there? There's just so much stuff. I'm a big believer in simplifying. And when you simplify, you focus. And when you focus, then you dig in more to that specific thing, and you get better and better and better and better at it. Then you become an expert at it. That's how I try and build my business. I built my business by door knocking. I door knock 100 doors a day, 5 days a week, for I don't know how long. And that's how I got to know the neighborhood. That's how I got to know the people there. And then that's how, over time, people started getting to know me because they see my face over and over and over and over again. Not rocket science, right? The first time they see me, they go, oh, after you get off my lawn. The second time I come in, they go, oh, it's you again? What are you doing here now? The third time, they, what are you handing out? The fourth time, they go, oh, hey, Jay. The fifth time, hey, over time it builds, right? I don't know if I shared this story with Green before, but the first time I ever went door knocking, first time ever, I had my flyers, blah, blah, going out. I was on my last flyer. And I said, I'm not going to stop until I hand this flyer to somebody. Because a lot of times, when you door knock, nobody's home, you leave the flyer, you move on to the next door. But I said, I'm not going to stop until I physically give this flyer to somebody. I knocked on the door, this old lady answered the door, said, what are you, what is it? Grabbed my flyer and slammed the door. That was my last flyer. I was like, oh, right? Well, at least I handed something. Long story short, you come put this is probably 6 years ago. 3 years ago, obviously I've been door knocking, so she sees me now. 3 years ago, her husband passed away, and I had door knocked the day after her husband passed away. And obviously, it was a very emotional moment for me. She invited me into her house. And we actually had a very long conversation just about, stuff, right? Not just real estate, but stuff. You start building a relationship. That was 3 years ago. She's probably, I think, in her 80s, 90s now. She's moved now into assisted living. Her son lives in her house now. I met her son, I want to say, a month ago. Moved in, and I just started chatting. She goes, "Oh yeah, my mom mentioned you before." So it goes from "Who the hell are you?" Bam, to now seeing her home, meeting her son, and you're developing these relationships, right? So my point of all this is what the more you specialize. Coming back to farming, the more I specialize, and the more I feel you specialize in a certain place, the more opportunities you have to build these relationships. And, yes, we're all here in real estate to make money, but I think there's other things that we can do as part of what we do as realtors, right? So, Chris, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, how do you approach those people when you do farming, when you do door knocking?
There is a door knocking technique.
Door knocking technique. Trial and error, man. It literally is just trial and error, right? And a lot of it is, you're gonna study. Yeah, you take a couple punches and after a while you start punching back, right? No, you're a trial and error, right?
People think probably you are from a Scientology church or something.
Yes and no. Like, look, I always say, obviously, number one, you have to, again, come back to my, the point of what we're talking about here. Have a market identified. Door knocking, I believe, works when you do it consistently. When you have a market that you're going through, so they see, because why? If you door knock on that one door one time, the first time, like I said, this lady, this example I gave, she slammed the door on me. If I never door knocked her again, will she remember me? No. I'm one of, I don't know how many people back on her. What made her remember me was that what? I kept humming over and over and over and over again. Now, why did I keep coming over and over again? Because that was my farm. Now, if I didn't have a farm, I wouldn't have come over and over again. Then she wouldn't have remembered me. Then the slam in my face is a waste of time. So all of this comes back down to what we were talking about earlier. What we need to have. This is why I believe what I believe is have a farm, have an area, because ultimately, also, like I said earlier, if I don't have anything to do, which, hopefully never happens. If I don't have anything to do, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab some flies and go draw. And what did that do? That helps generate stuff. What did that generate? We're talking about that, but I mean, it generates activity, it generates potential, right? That's what you're trying to do. You put yourself out there, give yourself an opportunity for a door to be slammed in your face, you can meet hopefully the sun down the line, right? There's a lot that can happen. So farming is one of the ways that I've been able to develop my business, and when we're talking about knowing your market, farming helps you learn your market, right? Because now you're talking to people, and keep in mind, when we're talking about Torrance, not just Torrance, but a lot of places, there's tract homes. You know what tract homes are, right? Tract homes are like just mass communities that have been built. So there's like 3 homes in every tract, which is variations at home, right? So once you start farming, you start seeing the same home over and over and over again. You start knowing what's in your market. So when a buyer comes in and goes, hey, I'm looking for a 5-bedroom home in this, there's no 5-bedroom homes here. It's impossible. There might be 1 or 2 because they might be added on themselves, but these are tract homes. This is a 3-bedroom, 2,000 house, 1,100 square feet, well, on a 5,000 square foot lot. That's what you're gonna find. If you're looking for a 5-bedroom home, and you'll look, let's go to PV. PV has bigger lots, they have bigger homes. These homes are built in the 1970s. Right, so you got to build up that market knowledge to help you do that, right? So farming is a big part of, I think, one way that you get to start with building your market. Yeah.
What was your first transaction?
My first transaction,
You say you work 5 days a week.
well, you know what? My first transaction was down too. I mean, everything's down to some point. My first transaction was a rental I had. I did a rental that I was able to convert a buyer who was a veteran, who had 0 down payment. I said, why are you renting this house for $4,000 when you go pay mortgage for $4,000? You have no down payment anyway. So again, that's what we were talking about earlier, learning the financial part of it. You know, there's VA loans. You guys know what VA loans are? Right, VA loans, veterans, the third loans,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right? There's 0 down for veterans,
That's the best one.
right? So the veteran kind of, doesn't have to put money down. Why pay $5,000 a month? And they can just put $5,000 a month in mortgage. So that was my first transaction. Come back to your question, was, do I have a method on this? A lot of it is, at the very minimum, I would say, bring some sort of material. You want them to remember you somehow, right? You want to have them, a simple flyer, your business card, it can be something. But have some sort of material that you can read. If nobody is home, I always leave my material. Right? And so at least at the very minimum, they see my money. Because I know next time I come around, I'm gonna be able to reference, hey, did you see that last time? Right? So there's something that.
100 people, you handle them every day, how much time it takes you? If you're gonna handle, because
Yeah.
3 doors that I knock while doing before my open house, while 3 doors, I handle maybe 5, even only 1.
That's
The
how
other
you
people, yeah, I mean, for me, during the open house, but it's the
Okay.
same concept.
Same
Before
concept.
I'm not home, others, they write no solicitations, and others, they open, they're not,
So,
I
let me
just
ask you a
handle
question.
them, but 30 it takes with me 2 hours.
Let me take a quick vote. Actually, I'm just good. If you're not gonna go. And you said no solicitation, you're not. Okay. Yes or no? No. Yes, no. Yes, wait, 1 yes, you're not.
Probably not.
No, okay, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, you're not, okay,
No.
no. So this is yes, no.
No, sleep, no.
If there's solicitation on the,
It says no solicitation, you're not.
I don't know, but I
Do
leave,
you not?
I don't know.
Oh, you said yes or no? You
I
did,
said,
no. You said yeah, I changed it already. No, so there's
I
6,
leave the flyer if I don't have time.
yeah. Okay, so the 3 to 6. Right, that says no solicitation. So I already beat 6 of you guys, because I would not,
You not,
I would not,
isn't it illegal?
I have not.
but they teach us here.
Yeah.
that's not
That-
allowed.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say,
okay,
they
so
do,
fair enough.
and they say
With the
that,
money's-
well, they also said that, they will report you. Some
Report me
people,
then. If they want to take the time to go and report me and do all that stuff, God bless them. Go and do it.
he has a handwriting.
Was that?
Wait, what's the worst that can happen if you door knock?
Revoke license, that's it. man.
Oh, you have a question? Go ahead, go ahead.
Jay, I just wanted to ask you, like, ideally, how big the farm size should be, like, so we can able to focus, that we're able to focus on it.
How big is the farm?
Yeah.
Let me park that. Because let me kind of bring on the point about the no solicitation. I would. Tell you what my hating thing is. But I would door knock it, and I have door knocked it, and I will continue to door knock it. Unless somebody tells me, you know, in person says, stop. I will.
What's the worst that can,
Right, yeah.
My question is, what can happen?
what can happen though?
I don't know.
If you leave the flyer, they have your info, they will sue you.
You know what, look, so I've gotten called, don't get me wrong, so I've gotten called afterwards. Hey, there's no solicitation on my door, why you need the flyer? Were you? Oh, okay, great, well, look, thank you, I won't be fine with that. Fine. That's the worst that can happen, right? I mean, what's gonna happen, yeah, they wanna go to the board and report you and then tell you, hey, could you get fined $50, I don't know, maybe.
That is the worst that can happen? You'll just get fined?
So, I mean,
$500, kidding me?
What?
They're doing it to get-
whatever, I mean,
I mean,
don't quote me on that, by the way, right? I don't get, I don't want to get in trouble either for saying this, but. Yeah, I think that's what they can, they report, you get a little citation and, fine, I put them on my do not leave flyer list, I thought I'd move on to that. But I won't do that until I know that that's gonna be the case, right? So some of these, some of these people that I met, they have no solicitation plans on that, right? Now, obviously, it's also up to you as a person approaching the door, you have to, right? Are you there to go, hey, what's thing to say, but you sign up off, right? Or the, hey, look, my name is Jay, I'm actually a local realtor, and every time you help guys for what's going on in the real estate market. Hey, how long you guys been there for? You start conversations, right? So. My approach to farming has always been building relationships, not necessarily just to sell a house. Cause I know, I mean, I don't know if there's any been a case where I knock on the door and they go, hey, great, nice to meet you, I wanna sell a house, can you sell a house? I don't know if that happens anymore. Right, I wish, I really did, don't get me wrong, that can happen, great, I don't think that's gonna happen, I don't think that will happen in the future either. Somebody works, people work with people. People work with people, why? Because they trust you. People work with people because they like working. with you. Not because you have them a flyer and said, hey, look, I open real estate, can you work with me? So what are we doing in farming is that we're building these relationships with people so that they can, know who you are, remember you, so when the time does come, they go, oh, I remember Jay, he's come by and all the time. Why don't we give him a call to see if he can help out? Right? So that's why farming is one aspect that you can dedicate, knowing the market to, but it does take time to do. It does take a bit of time to build that. So to answer your question. So when I first started farming, my farm was 6,000 plus homes. Way too big. Way too big. I'm doing 100 doors a day, 5 days a week. So at most, I'm doing 500 doors. Right? 6,000 would take me 12 weeks. That's 5, right? Is that right? 500 a week. Yeah, 12 weeks, can be 6,000. 12 weeks is what, 3 months. Right? So, and quite honestly, if I could do 100, I mean, that was the goal, 100 doors a day. I did probably on average maybe 400 something doors a week. I had 100 plus, things happen, sometimes you don't get through 100. So I keep track of it. 400 something doors a week. It would take me 4 or 5 months probably then to do 6,000. And what I learned by doing that was that by the time I make my way back around, the people don't remember, or they've already sold their home, or it's just too long. So what I've done is I've made it smaller. Now my farm is around 2,800, 29, right under 3,000. That still was probably a little bit too big.
Give you a flyer, right, when they don't open,
When I don't open, I leave a file.
so they remember you.
So that's another big part of door knocking, right? A big part of it is leaving something. Because why? If I talk to you Oh, sorry. If I just leave a flyer, chances are you might look at it and throw it away. Will you remember it? Maybe, maybe not, right? Now, let's say it this way, if I knew what happened, we have a good conversation. Great. The next time I come around, you're not home, and I leave a flyer. Will you remember it? You'll remember. You'll go, oh, I remember this guy. I talked to him last time. So the value of leaving a flyer now is so much more, right? Because you've talked to someone. So my goal a lot of times when I door knock is not just to leave flyers, but just to get a conversation going with somebody so they remember. That's a big part of the farm, or in my mentality going into things, right? So, and interesting enough, you said you open up 1 to 5. I've done this for 6 years. Every year I look at it, my average is 1 in 3 doors. I don't know why and how, but every year it's the same thing. It's around 33% the doors open. So 1 in 3 doors, I will have a conversation. And it could just be a simple conversation. It could be, hey, my name is Jay. I'm in a local realtor in the area. You know, do you follow real estate? No, well, here's my flyer. Just leave it. I'll see you next time. Something's very short, but something we'll have a conversation. It'll be 1 in every 3 doors I'll have that. So that's why when I say 100 doors, I'm talking about 30 conversations, 35 conversations a day.
Take notes.
I do. My clipboard.
With you?
You know, I have my clipboard. I have every time I meet somebody, I write down notes, so I remember.
Address?
Huh?
That, not the address, just.
I write it down, but then I go and put it in an Excel sheet afterwards. So I keep track. So I'm very, so part of my background, I was an engineer. So I'm very analytical, I'm very very structured. So I like having notes and stuff. So when I go and meet people, yeah, if I knock on the door, I remember a conversation, I jot down, I met this person. So I take notes on that. So the next time I come around, I'll remember what we talked about last time. So I just good report.
How do you identify the property? I mean,
No, you know what the address.
You can.
You know the address that we're talking about, right? So I shut down the address. 4521, okay. Miss Jones.
When you talk to that person, of course.
Right, then I get the name, hey, my name is Jason, what's your name? Oh, great, oh, what's how you doing, how long you been here for? Okay, great, now I know more about this person, right? So the next time I come around, hey, Miss Jones, how are you again, nice to meet you again, how you been? Oh, last time you told me your kids were leaving for college, how has it been? Right, you start meeting people, start developing relationships, start learning about people, and over time, actually, you know, the notes are great, but you start remembering. Right, you start remembering people. So I'm really good with faces, not good with names. Right, so I remember people, I see people on the street now, oh yeah, I remember them, they lived on this street or this house. But I don't remember the name. Right? But if you do it enough, you start remembering. But you know, if I can get 1 to 3 doors, and it's not magic. I think over the years, it's been consistently 33%, 35%. I keep track of it every time I go door knocking. So if you're getting that many doors, you guys know what the goal is for everyday activity? Have they told you yet? Like you need to have a goal every day, blah, blah, blah. You remember it, do you?
Like reach out to 10 people.
20.
Right? 20 a day, right?
Yeah.
Have 20 conversations a day. Not rocket science, right? The numbers are there for a reason. So the 20, on average, if I can do 100 doors, I get 30, 35 people, and you do it consistently enough, you get that many conversations.
So how,
So you have,
What kind of information do you have on your flyers? What do you use?
I don't have a copy of it. Very basic. I think I showed the last time, but it's very just, all I do, so I have 2 flyers. One flyer is what's on the market right now. So the flyer is basically, I'll look at MLS, so for my farm, I'll print out 1 section active, 1 section in escrow, 1 section sold, and I'll have a big map. Hot tip, people love visuals, obviously, the map and all that laid out a map is a big hit. People always say, oh, I love your map, it's great. Right? Where do I get all this information? From the MLS. I know what I do is I just put that in a little data table. I have one with me, right? Yeah. 2%. But active, escrow,
Month to month, right? You change them every month.
so I put out 500 at a time. So 500 at a time, because I know with 500, I could get it done probably on average a week and a half.
So you said what's going on in the market, but what's selling, what?
Active and escrow and sold, those are the only three things, right?
It's from MLS, right?
Huh?
You say that's from MLS?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you get the data from us, and then you make it yourself.
Oh, okay.
This is simple, right? I mean, this is just a data table. Right, so you see a lot of flyers out there, a lot of times they have a lot of mumbo jumbo on them. Obviously, my flyer has no mumbo jumbo at all.
So that's.
It's just data, and it has my face, my name.
And that's what's going on, what, every week?
No, I do 500, right? So I do 500, hand it out, when I do 500, I make a new one. I do 500, why? Because I know that gets me down, I'll probably get it down in a week and a half-ish, almost 2 weeks, because I don't want the data to be outdated.
Okay. Another question, this might sound funny, but what's probably the cheapest way to print out, like, where do you print? You know,
Let's go my printer. I mean, it's not cheap, I mean, this probably cost me $300.
do your own printer at home?
No, I don't print. No,
Like a company.
a company.
Oh, I see,
You don't have to do that. Our over there, we've been farming, his dad's been farming the second row in for like 20-something years. He has this orange piece of paper that just has a bunch of stuff on it, he hands out. He probably puts it out for like 25 cents each, 20 cents each, whatever.
Yeah.
So, quite honestly, it's not this. It's just competition,
Yeah.
right? It's just not something I'm doing.
So how often do you door knock to the same door?
So,
Once a month or?
no, so I have a loop, right? So I have 2,800 homes that I do. It takes me about 3 months, 3 to 4 months to make it. So they see me every 3 to 4 months, which is roughly that amount.
Every 3 months?
Every 3 to 4 months, I make a loop.
Oh, what ticket, you can for one, I mean, one once.
No, just, I have 2,800. So 2,800 homes will take me about 3 to 4 months to do.
So they're gonna see you every 3 weeks?
They
Every
don't make
3
me
months?
Oh,
4 times a year.
Huh?
4 times a year.
Roughly.
3 to 4.
Now, obviously, look, that's what 2,800 I think is a lot. Right, 2,800 I think is a lot still, right? You could probably do 1,000 and then try to see how that works for you. Or do 500,
Just do some,
just something, just see how that works. And you might find, you know what, 100, I can get 1,000, that's too little, I need to do more. Then you do more. Right, so, but the whole thing is what, having a farm, target a certain market, and then activity behind it. That's the key thing, right? Knowing the market, where's the farm I'm gonna do, having a plan to roll out and actually going out there and doing it. This flyer stuff is easy, I can give you, I mean, this is not counting. Do it, right? That's simple. Have a conversation so people remember you, that's key. But this is not, they're gonna look at this and they're gonna be like, oh,
yeah.
but they remember talking to you. But they remember talking, oh, but, no. That's the whole point.
Thank you.
It's 3:30. Let's put that at 4. You wanna take a break, or you want to just kind of bang through it?
No.
Just bang through it?
You want.
No, yeah. Right, so,
Jay, can I ask something?
yeah, go ahead.
Do you go solo for the door knocking or you go with somebody?
Do I do follow-up?
No, like, do you go alone?
I do alone. So yeah, good question. I mean, I do go alone. I do go alone. I mean, I feel comfortable enough to go alone. I mean, obviously. Thank you, that. Just be smart about it, right? As a female, realtor going out door knocking, don't go late at night. Just be smart about it, right? I mean, if you see a house that shouldn't be door knocked, move on. It's not worth the risk, right? So, but to your question, I do it alone. Let me see if there's like other stuff on here that.
You gotta, so.
utilize resources. Okay. A little bit down there, the KWF, command. Alright. It's free, oh, it's not free, you're paying for it already anyway, so use it. Alright, there's a lot of different CRM websites out there, or CRM databases. You use other ones, but use command because at least that would get you going, because it's part of what you're already paying for. Put it on your database, I'm sure all your contacts, all your stuff into it.
Sorry, going back to the door knocking, do you door knock like apartments as well? Or just homes? I'm just curious. See, some places are kind of mixed sometimes, like,
Yeah, no, you know, you can. Door knock apartments,
but you
apartments, you mean condo, not apartments.
like a fourplex or.
Yeah, you can,
Okay.
I mean, so if you go and hit up a fourplex, right, you're looking for a buyer. Cause why? Cause they're
There
renting.
might be.
Right. Now, that being said, you know, I have gone business from knocking on a rental. Because, number one, they might be buying, number two, they have my info to the owner, to the manager. Alright, so I would focus on it, but if it's.
If
part
it's
of my
on your
loop,
way,
It's
yeah.
part of my loop that, yeah, I'll go, but over time, you also find out too, you know, that venture, they're never gonna buy,
Yeah,
so then you move on.
so, but you do, if it's on your walk or whatever.
Yeah,
The first time at least.
Yeah, so I have people on my list that are tenants, that are ventures, and I get to know them, and again, you never know, they might have a friend that's buying, they might have somebody, they might know somebody. So yeah, don't let that stop you from doing it. But, any questions about door knocking or farming?
Question, kind of basically detailed, is when I tried door knocking, I actually loved it. I noticed the conversations I'm having, sorry, two questions. The first one, first one is like making notes, you know, just so you remember next time we can have that continued meaningful conversation, right?
Right.
How long does it take to like put down this stuff for, if you do doors? You know, or you are hoping to reach 100 doors, so do you print all that information out? That whatever
Oh,
you
for,
put
yeah,
on
no,
stuff?
so I know my route the night before. I know what streets I'm going on the night before. So it is a planning, right? You're not just waking up and going, right? So I know that I'm doing these two streets today. I know that's gonna be roughly 100 homes, and that's my goal. So that's the goal, right? So then when I print out my material, I have printed out that section or this street. So I have all the contacts for that street. And I have that on my clipboard, and I walk literally with my flyer, my clipboards, and a pen, and off I go.
Just make more notes.
Yeah, I just make my notes on there, I go along the way, and then at the end of the day, I go back and put it all back into the.
And like after like 7, 8 months, like, isn't there so many notes? If
Oh,
you
yeah.
end up talking to this person and.
So to give you an example, as long as I've been doing it, like if I go and knock 2 streets, I would have 2 front and back pages. So it's not a lot, 2
What?
front and back,
Just for those 100
which for the 2 streets, yeah.
front of that, just for, so it's like a really, must be small print, no?
Is that that?
Is it small print or like it's.
No,
so-
it's- Normal print, stuff that I can see when I'm on. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not taking like copious notes of like,
Yeah, it's just like basic.
here's this
Yeah.
basic stuff, like, oh, this time we talked about the daughter, this time we talked about the son, or this one has 2 kids that live in the area. You know, just so that I give you some numbers of who they are and kind of relate that to.
Just whole
Right.
memory.
Yeah, he said that he's selling in 3 months. He said that, you know, he's moving to he would move to Arizona in the future. You know, there's something that you could then use for conversation. That's not-
Remember to open the conversation. I missed, I was outside, so there are columns that you do, like email name.
No, I don't,
Notes.
don't complicate.
Okay.
Name, address, no. Yeah, with the name, okay, I remember your name is John Smith. Address, so this was 5255, blah, blah, blah. No,
Even if they just handle the, without having conversation, take note of problem.
no, if I just hand them a flyer, then I would say,
No notes.
no, so I was maybe you open the door, but no conversation.
Can you do
But at
like,
least I know that I've met face to face with this guy. So next time I come around, I'm gonna say, hey, I met you last time. Look, you know, they're not gonna remember. They're not gonna remember you as much as you will today. So you may say, hey, we spoke about that, like, you did? Yeah, we spoke about that, you don't remember? It may have just been, and you walked off.
Yeah, but they
They
don't.
don't remember that, but you can just say, hey, yeah, we spoke very briefly last time, I should remember, I get my flyer, but hey, how you doing? Right, so that opens up that one, because why, now they know that they've met you before, or you've had some sort of conversation with you before. So funny thing, right? COVID happened. When COVID happened, a big part of what I do
It's gone.
becomes very difficult, right? Obviously. Because why? My two big things, we haven't talked about those things. My two big ways of building my business was open houses and door knocking. Those are two big things that I did. And I couldn't do it, right, during COVID. So I was like, what the heck? But you know what? So obviously COVID happened and the first couple of months, you know, everything kind of shut down. If you guys remember towards the latter half of 2020, things started getting,
Yeah.
you know, a little
Relax.
opened up a little bit more. I said, screw it, I gotta do something. I went door knocking. And to my surprise, people were very welcome to see me. Because number one, they were able to talk to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
And number two, I was kind of a familiar face. Right? They knew me, they saw me, so they were to some extent comfortable in talking to me. Not everybody.
They were happy to see you were alive.
Yeah, and, you know, what, and that's why I said, you know, a lot of the conversation wasn't even about real estate. And you guys are fine, if you guys grown up, most of the conversation isn't gonna be about it. It's gonna just be about, hey, how's it going, man? How's it going? Oh, wow, what's going on? Are you going to, what do you like, who's showing up for the Super Bowl? Oh, yeah, okay, great, blah, blah, blah. By the way, you know, here's the flyer, here's what's going on in the market right now. Do you still follow along? Oh, yeah, you do. Well, did you know that house was sold down the street? Oh, okay, great, well, look. If you guys ever consider it, you know, if you guys ever think consider moving, please keep me in mind, I'd love to get a chance to help. But thank you. Conversation for 30, you know, 30 seconds a minute. Some of them will, you know, some of them will be super long, but those are the ones you like, how do I get out of this, right? And then there's some, those are the ones, but then, you know, you get it, right? Those are the yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay, so you said your other big, your big,
They were open houses.
open houses.
Yeah.
So do you, because I'm sure it's not all your listings, so do
No.
you,
I would reach out to every listing that was in my farm, I'll reach out and cut to listening.
okay, so are you looking, so do you normally just do open houses for your farm?
No, I would do it anywhere, too, anywhere I could do it. My initial plan of attack was to go just do every open house that was in my neighborhood, I would try to.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, a lot of times Asians would do it still, but
Uh-huh.
then what you would say, can I host it on a hot tip? Friday night open houses are really good hits.
Okay,
You know, I'm not saying you have to do it, and I think you should do it, but serving wine and cheese on a Friday night when the neighbors come over.
Is that, so I'm new, completely new to, so agents don't like doing open houses?
No, sometimes listing agents, they just don't, because a lot of times, you know, they're gonna sell the house and list it, they don't care about. You know, they don't care about doing open house. But, so, some agents do, some agents don't, all depends.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, and so, you know, that's a good opportunity as a new agent to get your name out there, something like that. Right?
So you'll just call the listing agent and say, hey,
Right, so that comes back to another, how do you provide value, right? So this listing agent in a hot listing is probably getting. There's what, 9 of you guys here, 9 different phone calls already about, hey, can I list an open house for you? So why should I choose you versus the next agent? Like, what value am I bringing to the table? Hey, look, I'm a local agent in the area, I'm actually farming this area. You know, I know the neighborhood very well, what I'll do is I'll be able to provide you feedback on every single person that comes in. We'll follow quickly, if there's a good buyer for you, I'll give you information, but know that agent, and they reach out to you. Provide some sort of value. Right, if you're gonna go to the agent, say, can I host your open house for you? Provide some sort of value to say why they should use that. Yeah.
Right, in parallel, did you say you would say any buyer that does not have an agent will forward them?
Thank you.
Thank you.
To the listing agent?
No, he's asking you his question, or? His question was like, why, like, you only do, so why do some agents not want to do open houses?
Oh,
And I said, no, not, some agents, they just don't, some agents do, some agents don't.
no, and you're saying what value?
But I would say, if you are gonna try to ask for the, open house, bring value to the agent. But as a listing agent, what value are you providing to me to host my open house? Why should I choose you? Cause I'm gonna get different calls of people wanting to do open house. Why you?
Yeah, since you provide feedback, you know, you have a total count who has, what did you say about that? If they didn't have an agent, you actually.
No, if they have an agent, I'll give you some feedback on the buyers that come in.
If they have any.
Oh,
If they have an agent, I would send them away, because obviously, there's no point in making that. But like, part of it is like, I said, if you do like a Friday night open, have a host of different open house night. Like I said, Friday nights are kind of big, kind of cool, getting to the neighbors, especially if you're doing like farming. And you have an open house in your farm on a Friday night, neighbors love to come out. That's how you meet the neighbors, right? That's how you get your name out there. Thank you. Yeah.
And it's okay to serve like the wine and cheese?
Didn't hear from you.
Okay, but you, yeah. I'm just glad, like, I don't wanna even do it and. It's, but
You
you've
might,
done it,
you might get a little stuff on this. I'm not saying you should do it, I'm just,
saying you have in the past.
I haven't done.
Yeah, I get you.
Go ahead.
For the door knocking, if those, complex is not gated, is that okay to do? Cause I know that gated one, they say no, so.
Oh, if it's gated, right, you can't go in.
Well, if there's, so the legal way, and I know this just because someone passed, if there's no sign, you're okay. It doesn't matter, like, if it's just a gate where you just like, you know, push it up and you can go in, now, if it's like a key gate, you can't jump the gate.
Yeah, so like, if the house has a gate on it, I try to open it.
Yeah, like a latch, yeah.
I do try to open it, I try to knock on the door. Oh, another hot tip, I never use the ring,
Yeah, no.
never use the ring, why?
They can see you.
It might.
It gives them a reason not to come. in.
Yeah, I mean, they see you and they're like,
Yeah, they just sit in the door and then they talk to me. I always knock,
Oh,
and you always knock twice.
Mhm.
You knock once, you wait, nobody's there, you knock again. Right. So that's what I try to do, because,
sometimes you don't hear.
huh?
Sometimes you
You
just
don't
don't
hear
hear
it,
it. first.
sometimes, people drop off packages, they knock once, they leave, so maybe it's the package delivery, I always knock twice. I never read the doorbell, because not that thing's broken. Right, just think, right, you're putting so much effort and time in preparing, getting flyers, walking. You get in front of the door, you wanna maximize the potential of that person, your goal is to get somebody to open the door. That's your goal. You do all that, if you're kind of run off, you're wasting your time. Right? You might as well go and you try to get it, you try to 100% get it, and obviously, you're not, like I said, only 1 of 3 open the door, other 2 not, so the majority of times, you're not gonna get it.
My question was like, how about condo?
I mean, you can stop my tunnel, why not? There's no reason why- I mean, longer.
I mean, some homes, like the doors are outside,
Yes.
so you can,
Yeah, there's no, the one that I was going on was no gate. So anyone can go in and that's a condo complex, but there's, my niche is Japanese community and where most of Japanese community is gated community. So, and then I heard that HOA, those gated community you can go on, is that true?
You might, get security to come and say, hey, get out of here. It was funny, because when I first started door knocking, there was one section. I drove up to thinking, oh, okay, this is the section I'm gonna door knock, oh, that's a big gate, crap, I couldn't even get in. So sometimes, yeah, you do what you can, but there's other opportunities out there, there's enough doors out there, fine. Cameron, did you have a question?
no, no, I don't.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, this kind of turned into a door knocking
Yeah,
conversation, but I think it's important for you guys to see that. I like sharing that, because that's what kind of works for me,
it's good, so.
right?
There is one thing, it's so funny because I tried to door knock and it said no soliciting and I left my information. I thought about it all night long, like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in so much trouble because they told us that we can't leave the information. Someone's gonna report me. I was stressed out. I was so stressed out
I
about
get
that.
it, right? And so another story, right? Like, so I used to work with recruiters.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times, the people that I was working on my team, what do you call it? You have a CV, a resume in front of you, you gotta call them, right? You gotta try to find a good candidate for a job. So you're calling people, and a lot of times the people that I was working with, they would sit in front of the computer and stare and try to, what does this guy do? How does he do? What do you know, they would try to study the heck out of this resume. They would spend 10 minutes trying to study his resume. Then what did they do? Pick up the phone,
It's called
They call.
anyways. Yeah.
and then what happened? No answer. So what did they just do? Wasted 10 minutes trying to figure out this guy that. Then they go on the next one, they were sitting in front, it's, so a lot of this, is what, just get out and do it. And to your point, oh man, should I, just do it. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
They might push the shit out of you. Don't you see this? Blah, blah, blah. Why you put it? Well,
Yeah.
so there's a bit of thick skin that you're gonna have to build up on this. So, and as with any sales job, you're gonna have that, right? You're gonna have rejection, you're gonna have people move on to the next one, you're an asshole, and move on to the next one. Some people are like, hey, no, you're at the most of the station, just don't buy your hand.
Sorry, you see
Move
that.
on, right? Move on. I respect that, I'll move on. But some people are just gonna be assholes about it, you might get screwed. But I don't worry too much about what can happen, I just try to do what I can. What can happen, is what can't happen. But yeah, look, that's a big part of learning market, trying to tie back into it's trying to build something about your business that you want to go about. How am I gonna go about my business? How am I gonna farm? If I'm gonna farm, what location am I gonna do? Okay, what's that area? I mean, you work your title, talk to title person. They're gonna help you out and understand what area works or what area you can start focusing on and give you information about that area. Right? So, like I said earlier, build a relationship with a lender, build a relationship with the title company. Right? Boss, someone that just started the business, where there's a lot going on, that's some of the first couple things. Build your database, work with command. That's some of the back end that you want to start building already anyways, and the front end stuff is just going out there and just doing cold calling. I mean, I know Bob's gonna be another instructor. Bob will have to, he does a lot of cold calling. So he'll teach you cold calling and more about what that. That's a different method. So, but for me, farming,
Do you do any cold calling at all?
I mean, you pick up contacts, pick up cold. So I cold call. I use my
But those are the contacts you got.
But I mean, no, sometimes I know this house is gonna be for sale, I gotta find title, or give me contacts, find contact, then cold call the contact. I've cold called for 10 years of my life, and that's something else you can do too. I feel that being in person makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree.
But it also takes a lot more work, right? Because you can cold call 100 people in an hour. It takes me 4 to 5 hours to go to 100 people. So it's different.
Yeah.
So you could find a trouble, and see what that's you. There's different methods. Well, any other questions? So. Knowing your market, right? Do all the back end stuff. Get your lender contact, get your title contact. You're gonna farm. Pick a location. Don't try to do everything under the sun. Pick a specific location that you can specialize.
So you only have one farming right now, or you have 3 that goes to every month one?
No, for me right now, I'm doing one. I think 2,800 homes, one farm is more than enough for me to do it.
And then that's, how did you pick that? Was the title you just, so that turnover rate or you just?
But honestly, by luck.
Right.
Long story short, I was working with somebody when I first started here. I said, here, we gotta go out there and do business development, door knock. What are we doing? Here we go. He knew it a little bit more. It's West Torrance, right? So I farm West Torrance. You guys know West Torrance, very nice area, good area, a lot of demand. So we said, this is a good area. Why don't we start farming here? Okay, sure. I have no idea. Sure, whatever. My mentality was, I just gotta do something. Once you start doing something, you'll find out what's right and what's wrong, you know, stuff. The big problem is thinking for doing sometimes is not beneficial.
So I did the Toronto last weekend because I had open house.
Right.
Same conference, and I had a really good experience with that, and I'm like, oh, kind of like this area, like, it could be my farm, but
That's exactly it, and that's part of it too, like, when you do an open house, and you start, open house going off is pretty easy, right? Hey, guys, we're having an open house, why don't you all come on by, we're serving munchies, whatever, right? And so, but then you start to know the neighborhood, and you start to, you know, like the area, that's really the way. Really.
but I haven't seen the turnover rate, it's really low, it could be like, right?
Right, yeah, so, you know, part of that is. So, yeah, when I first got into West Orange, they told me as well, that West Orange is a very low turnover.
Okay.
So, I said, okay, well, it is what it is, let's try it, and they told me the 3 people that dominated that space, super dominated. So, when I first started door knocking that space, I did go do this before, people always told me, said, hey, oh, you're new here, oh. Good luck. There's some pretty heavy hitters in this area. And I got that from agents. Some agents thought, I wouldn't do that farm because there's some people that do this. Fair enough. I was going, knock, the neighbors, homeowners, and oh yeah, you're new here, yeah, this has been around for a long time. You know what I said to the owners that lived there? I said, oh, wait, well, my name is Jay. I'm a local realtor here, I'm happy to help. Oh, who is that person? When was the last time you spoke to them?
Never.
Oh, we haven't met them. Oh, you haven't? Well, yeah, hi Jay, I'm here right now. How's it going? Nice to meet you. Right? Just because somebody has been doing it for a long time in the space doesn't mean that you can't break in. How are you going to differentiate yourself to break in? Question. Right? How are you consistently going to be able to make yourself stand out? Question. Right? They've been doing. Some of these guys are well-known points, South Bay builders that have been doing the market there for 20-something years, but. Now these people recognize me because I come around. Well, they just kind of, they drop off line. Look for opportunities and capital, you know, just that jump off. Take the activity, takes consistency, and if you do that, you know.
I guess for like a super new person like me.
Yeah.
Who, you know, just order the business cards, we just started. I mean, yeah, we got the flyers, door knocking, so that's gonna be added to my to-do list in the next few days. But anything else that you would recommend?
Just do shit. Do something. Like I said, I think the biggest problem with a lot of new agents is that there's so much to do, they don't know what to do.
Like, does that website matter as much,
No.
honestly?
I don't
Okay,
know.
anything, I mean, like,
I mean,
I'm
you
not
have
a
a
website
KW
guy.
had a website, the KW had like a so your full name.kw.com website.
but you don't really, like,
People use Zillow, people use Redfin. I can funnel them to my website, but like they're gonna. I think my time is better used on something else than develop a website that I have to maintain. Don't get me wrong, you know, people have it.
yeah. No, and I'm sure it works for some people.
Right, but for me, I feel like I could better utilize my time doing other stuff than to build it. Because they're gonna go on Zillow anyway, or they're gonna go on KW command anyway, or whatever, so. I would say just have a plan of how you're gonna develop business and what you're gonna do and take action. Whatever plan that you put together will probably be shit after you take action anyways,
Yeah.
but. At
At
least
least
you
I'm
take
doing
action,
something.
and then you'll be able to adjust that, and then you'll refine that, move that, and then it'll organically change. That's more important. Cool. Any other questions? Good. Hopefully, I mean, that was kind of the material. The material wasn't much anyways. But as you can see, I think just more importantly, just giving some other tips of what you can do to get started. You guys have any questions, reach out. Happy to help. Get out there and farm, get out there and do shit. Pardon my French, but you know, the more that you do, the more energy you put out there, the more that will come out. Get out there and do it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys.
It's nice to meet you.
Was that? Jay. Yeah. Well, now you have an opportunity to meet a lot of people every day, right? So you meet a lot of people, right? So-
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
slowly,
So-
slowly getting an idea of what to do and how to do like. at the beginning. A little bit disorientation.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of it, like, I said, is building up, study, like that, put it all down the line, like that, and then I was talking about farming, right? So if you're gonna farm,
And then we saw that software too, that some guys got that same.
a command, it's a command.
Oh, yeah, I got your email.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah, we're good, thank you.
That's the one.